What's goody to the goddess and the gods, and what's popping to the people? And well, let's get to it like we always do about this time. As y'all can see, I'm still at work, but as they say, the show must go on. So this what we doing, and we still gonna cook as soon as I get my nap ass head together. So yeah, y'all excuse all the tables and things in the background. But I say, you know what? I'm here stuck anyway. I might as well get busy, you know what I'm saying, man? Look at that, my head all over the place, Jack. Let me get myself together. Yeah, my. So let me just get situated and get organized and things, and we're gonna get it popping. Uh, yeah, you ain't getting no background, no music and all that today, y'all. Just gonna have to deal with. We in the trap. My head look like it's in the trap. Uh, Believe it or not, I just got my shit done. It's rough. Um, so hold on for a second. Oh yeah, I got some videos for y'all too. How do I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing without my phone. It's sad. It's Negroes is sad. Um, this is gonna be ugly. And the diddler, ain't that what y'all call him? The diddler. Hey, hold on, let me tell everybody on Facebook quit playing with us like that. See, we right there. What is y'all doing? Putting up my story. Uh, and yeah, we everywhere, y'all never there. Now I'm about to get to attacking inboxes. That's how y'all make me get ghetto, then I'm act like it. Y'all want me to get ghetto, so I'm just gonna act like it. I'm coming everywhere. Everywhere. And y'all never there. Everywhere. Yeah. I'm finna go right to your auntie in the living room and make them watch. We going everywhere. Uh yeah, just give me a second. I'm sharing with my brethren, and we're gonna talk about what these people trying to do to us. Y'all know they trying to do it to us. I don't know why y'all act like they ain't. I don't know why you act like they ain't when they is. Okay, this is all my come on in, family. This and then we're gonna get it popping. And y'all know there's a everything's got a religious undertone to it. Y'all see that dude that was that killed the cop that killed his son? I keep saying I'm gonna look into that. I think it was in Mississippi. The cop just killed a young brother, and the father went back and killed his daughter. These people better quit playing. It's not shit. Not finna be sweet no more. Uh, People are not about to just keep allowing you to harm their loved ones and all of that type of shit. It's not gonna happen. Um, so now, uh, okay, they're going on my little invites. Did I do inboxes? That's what I was trying to do. So now, I was looking at y'all seeing these fights everywhere. Like, I keep seeing people in the restaurants, the workers. You got two things going on. The workers is in the back of the restaurants beating each other's brains out, and then the customers is getting into it with the restaurant people. People coming from behind the counter to fight customers. Like, but then I seen somebody sent me a clip. It looked like it was on South Beach on the Strip. Some older white people get out their car, and the older white guy, he got a bat. It's an older white couple against a younger white couple. The young white dude run up on the old dude. Old dude get to whacking him. He back up and get to looking crazy and shit. And then he looking for his girl. Now the old lady got his wife over on the side, beating her. I'm talking about beating her ass. She give what they say an old fashioned ass whooping. She dragging her all through the street. The body slamming her, picking her up, stomping her. I said, old school going crazy. So they done whooped the shit out the young couple. And after the old lady finally turned her loose, she get up, straighten her hair, and look around for her guy. This motherfucker in the car. I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine my wife outside getting her ass whooped by an old lady, and I'm in the car waiting for her. Oh my Lord. And the reason why I'm in the car waiting for her is, and then the old man whooped his ass first. You know, I feel like the young couple thought they was young, they was popping shit, so they got out the car and ran up on the old school, got to whacking his ass with that stick, and he calmed down quick and got to fixing his hair and shit and looking for his girl. He seen his girl over there getting drugged by this 65-year-old woman all through the streets. I'm talking about picked her up, slammed her on her shit. Oh, I promise y'all that old lady was beating the fuck out of her. She got it way worse than the husband. But I'm tripping off the fact that after he got through getting his ass whooped, he walked off and looked for his wife. He seen the old lady over there beating the brakes off his wife, and he went and got in the car. Down south, you right on time, because I know you wouldn't allow such a thing. So I need you to tell me, hey, you in the traffic, right? And so this motherfucking old couple and the young couple, the old couple and the young couple get into it. So the young couple jump up out the whip. They in the front car. They jump up out the whip and walk to the back like, let's get it. And he ran up on the old man, and the old man grabbed like a stick or something to get to whacking him in the head. So he fell back, you know, massage his dome and get to looking around for his wife. Meanwhile, the old man, old lady, got the wife beating her ass all the way up and down the motherfucking South Beach Strip, beating the shit out of her. And when he looked for his wife, he turned around and seen her getting her ass whooped. He didn't have the decency to say, baby, get her, duck, or I think you can take her. None of that shit. He went and got in his car. Now, after the old lady get through beating the shit out of his woman, she get up, fixing her hair, looking for her husband. And this nigga in the car waiting for me. Oh, Lord. Woo! That was funny because you never get to see white people outside whooping each other ass. But that's when we know, and this couple was old. That's when we know shit getting different out here. It's something like, it's almost like that motherfucking, they cloned Tyrone when Jamie Foxx showed us they putting something in the Popeye spicy chicken. I really feel like they doing that to everything, because all of these, like, this is at an all-time high where employees is in the back of McDonald's beating the shit out of each other by the fries. Like, they both losing. They made it for each other. Yeah. Hey, but something ain't right though. The way that people is fighting like this, and because like it always used to be this unsaid rule, like you ain't gonna fuck up your job. Just think about it. We ain't never on a regular basis seen, like, for me, it started about, I think about 6 months ago was the first time I seen it like that. That motherfucking, it was a sister in Popeyes got into it with somebody, a customer. She came from behind that counter and beat the shit out her like she owed her some pack money. I mean, she beat her up out her wig, her backpack, down her about her clothes, stomping her all in her hand. I'm like, this is too much. Like, you done whooped her. Now she literally dragging her around the restaurant by her weave. Like, and it seemed like for me since then, I'm seeing it consistently. Much love to everybody in the building. Please hit the like, man. Please hit the like. Y'all in here, y'all rocking with me. Hit the like, man. Let's get the numbers up. Please hit the like. Oh, I'm just talking about, we're about to get to the weather thing in a second, but right now I'm just talking about all the different random public fights at work that we're starting to see now. And it's the reason why I'm segueing this way. You randomly seeing people just in the back of McDonald's, 2 employees beating the shit out of each other. You at another restaurant, you see the customers. It was like the Waffle House or something. The customers and the people behind the counter was into it, but the skinny little white girl stole first. I'm like, what the? This shit getting crazy. Like, ain't no rules no more. It ain't no more white girls can't fight. It ain't no more white boys don't gang bang. It ain't no more, we gotta have a reason to shoot you. Like, it ain't no rules no more. and when we was growing up, we had a rule. You know, this saying had got popular where people start saying, you know, ain't no rules to the game. I do whatever. When people start saying that, me and my guys used to say, don't fuck with him. Because a person who convinces themselves that it ain't no rules is a person that'll do anything. Just like the MOE. I didn't like that when people start saying money over everything. No, money, it's a lot of shit that money ain't over. So it's a mentality that's coming with the world right now, but something's inducing it. And I feel like we already know that the food is not right, but this is a multi-faceted thing, because not only is the food not right, everybody know about the chemtrail shit. We all know about that. This is what kills me about us, though. You could walk to any place where you think is people that ain't that smart at. I don't care where you pick. Just go a place where you think the people who ain't that smart, and it's a group of them, and just randomly walk up to one of them and ask them, do they know what chemtrails are? Everybody, to some extent, to some degree, got a thought of what they think chemtrails are. So, if that's the case, hold on, let me get my charger real quick. So, this is the part that I said that disturbs me. If I ask you what chemtrails are, you'll say, y'all. So let me ask y'all a question real quick. Somebody just throw it in the chat for me. What are chemtrails? Anybody answer this for me? What are chemtrails? Just anybody that know. While I plug this up, just somebody, what are chemtrails? I know y'all know what the hell chemtrails are. Y'all not finna sit here and tell me you don't. I know y'all know what they is. All right, we got juice. Sickness and messing with the weather, aka clean air. Okay, chemicals they release in the air. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Queens. So now, see what I just did? I said if you randomly ask any group of people, everybody know what chemtrails is. So we as a people, we know that our government flies planes over the air and drops poison out of them. Think about what I just said. As a people, we collectively understand that our government flies planes in the air and drops shit in the air that ain't supposed to be there. And we don't know what that is and what it does, but we know it happens. Why do we accept that? You see how crazy this thing is? We know we're being poisoned in the air. Right. Now look what you just said. You said the government engaged in a secret program. Now that's another thing that we can get a lot of people to agree. If the government is engaged in a secret program, most people will agree on that. So there you go, chemical. So now here's my whole point. Look how we as people know exactly what's being done to us, and we still get on with our day and accept it. That's the problem. That's the problem. You have to think about that. I just randomly asked, and y'all all knew that we're being poisoned. But let's take it a step further. Okay, if the government is flying planes in the air and dropping stuff in the air, there's three things that are happening that we don't understand and we're not even curious about. Okay, so if it's dropping in the air, there's three things being affected: the sky, the vegetation, and the people. We have no idea what's being done to the sky. And now whatever happens to the sky is going to affect the crops. And whatever happened to the crops is going to affect the people. So this is something that we know exists and we've accepted it. In Florida, shit crazy. But now see how that go. We know, and we as a people just accept it and get on with our day. But today, we're going to break down what we really accepting. What we're really accepting. And we're going to watch a couple videos too. So now, we understand that weather modification, the weather is, our planet is a system. So like I just explained to you, the air, the oxygen, the atmosphere is what controls the vegetation, what we eat and how we cure ourselves. All cures come from plants. All medicine comes from plants. So look how intricate this thing is. All medicine and all food comes from plants. And the plants are directly affected by the atmosphere. And one of the most important things is the sun. And we have allowed to be in a system where not only have they admitted that they modify the weather, they have admitted that they plan to block out the sun. Now, there's a fourth thing that we have to add to this. So we know they're affecting the air, they're affecting the vegetation, and they're affecting all the people. Now, here's the fourth thing. They're double affecting melanated people. Just so we understand this. This is not a racial thing, this is a science thing. There's a double effect happening to melanated people. Now, why is this? Because the sun and melanated people are directly, chemically, and physiologically connected. This, what they call nappy hair, this very coarse hair, this is to interact with the sun. Your hair follicles, as a melanated person, these are antennas. So you directly gain intelligence from sun rays. Now, let's think about that. Now, let's go back to something I said a few minutes ago. Why are all these random fights breaking out all over the place? Well, if the government has admitted that it is attempting to layer the sky to block out the sun, then that means as a whole, they are directly affecting the intelligence of the planet. Now, I'm just some guy on YouTube at work in the back. If I know this, you think the government don't know this? See, this is a thing here that we have not analyzed. So let's take a step deeper. If we do realize that they add to and make fake clouds. Now, I know I've been with other people that we point out, like, those clouds look stiff as hell. They're not moving. Well, that's for another show. If they can add to and take away from clouds, what are they really doing? Because if this is not a real cloud, then they are placing other chemicals into the atmosphere that are not genetically legitimate clouds. So what are these chemicals being placed in the atmosphere? What do they do? So now we're gonna watch some footage of entire governments accusing the United States of affecting their weather. Oh, there go my dude. What's happening, God? Long time no see, man. I've always thought, I can start doing this too. I be always forgetting. I've always thought they had some sort of control over certain things in the sky. So now we have to understand. We have to understand something. Let me show you how intricate this thing is. If you're somebody who follows constellations, then you know that the normal zodiac, the 12 zodiac that we used to look for in the sky when we were growing up, now I got this thing. You can get it on your phone in the App Store, and you can put it in the sky, and it'll show you all the constellations and all the different planets. It'll draw them out for you. It's a dope ass app. But my point is, it's so many constellations and stars and different bodies that weren't in the sky before. They're now. But the problem is we have 100 times more polluted air than the ancients did. So logically speaking, the ancients would have seen more constellations than us, and thousands of years later, we would be seeing less. So, where'd the pretty pictures in the sky come from? This is what we have to start. We have to start thinking along these lines, because they keep telling us that they're going to this place called outer space, which is the dumbest name ever, because everything around me right now is the outer space. You see how simple that is? You don't see no stars, moons, planets, rockets. You don't see nothing. But I'm literally right here, and everything here is the outer space. No. That's exactly what that means. I know you taught to think it means something got to do with aliens and stars and traveling and spinning. No. That's not what the word says. It's what they tell you it means, but that's not what the word says. So either way it go, we have to start. Let's use something simple. Let's use a simple analogy. Before this year, do you realize most of us had no clue what was actually going on in the music industry? Now, I've been teaching this shit for 10 years, and y'all been telling me I'm fucking crazy, conspiracy nut job, you just want some attention, you lying to the people even though I'm broke and nobody watches my channel. I don't know what y'all think my motive is, but y'all accuse me of all kind of filth and filth. But now, it's coming out that a large percentage of your favorite entertainers are undercover homosexual and pedos, and that people are being pressured to do sexual favors for a career and for an advancement. Now, my only point is the same thing with COVID. During COVID, you all argued me up and down, called me every idiot. I lost half of my friends and all type of shit. And not one of you fuckers has inboxed me and said, bro, you were right. Dr. Fauci is on trial right now. And what is he on trial for? He's on trial for misinforming the American public during COVID and pocketing the money and the funding that he got from COVID. And all you got to do is go back to my black ass. Remember, I made Fuck Fauci t-shirts. Remember that? I was the guy with the t-shirts. I made Fuck Fauci t-shirts, and I went on a rant telling y'all all of the shit he getting accused of right now. Y'all all told me I was crazy. But I'm not doing that to gloat. My point is, we have a habit of thinking things are a certain way, and we're adamant about it. But we frequently find out that things are completely different than what we thought. So now, we have to learn from our mistakes. We have to say, okay, I'm no longer going to be naive and say what's not happening. If I don't have the information to prove it, I'm no longer going to say that ain't happening. I have to be able to prove it, or I'm not going to tell you it. We have to make a combined effort to say, I'm going to do my due diligence. And I see some of y'all lately, y'all been coming with the fire. Now, all I'm going to say is keep studying, because what I see is when we start getting excited with the information, we start telling everything we come across. You got to do your cross checking and your reference checking and make sure that what you're talking about is legit. But I see a lot of y'all coming with that heat, and y'all see I be liking y'all shit and sharing it and all that. We gotta spread this information. We gotta spread all of this shit. It's just like now. Look how many people in here. Look how many likes is there. Why? Y'all sitting here listening? Hit the fucking button. This is the shit right here. It's simple. I could talk for hours, but y'all can't hit a fucking button. Now, here's the thing. And it's something else I've been telling y'all. I've been telling y'all that we did not lose the Vietnam War. And I be having inside scoops on certain shit. The Vietnam War is where they tested a lot of advanced technology. And one of the things was weather modification. They affected the Vietnamese weather months before, so they couldn't get they weapons to where they needed to get them to. They had monsoons and shit everywhere. It was hurricanes and whatever the fuck. So motherfucker couldn't travel around and get the ammunition and get the people to where they need to. This is how things go. I said to well, no, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna put nobody on blast. But my point is this right here. If they can, we have to think outside the box. Okay. They can create clouds. Okay, so if we know they can create clouds, that means they can create rain. Okay. If they can black out the sun, then they can affect the crops. So now, that means they can do this when they want to. You're not looking at the other side of it. Okay, y'all look at it like, so what? They make clouds to make it rain. Big deal. We need, okay, but if they can make it rain, they can make it not rain. Which means they can starve out a whole state, city, or half of the country. Just migrating a certain group of people to a certain part of the country and making sure it never rains over there. This is the type of thing we have to start thinking about. You're in the middle of a war, and we don't like to think of it that way because we like our comfort. But if you think this isn't war, think about what I just told you. We have a government that admits they tamper with the weather. So now we got to start thinking about these forest fires. Remember how it wouldn't rain in California for weeks? And then the fire started. We just established that they can tamper with the clouds, which means they can make it not rain in California for months. And with that heat, it's going to combust. And then the forest catches on fire. And you think, is this something you see on TV? No big deal. You don't understand. Okay, an entire forest burns down. That means the animals that didn't die have to relocate, find a new everything. It affects the ecosystem. It throws off the balance. And this is when you're going to get animals are going to begin to become cannibals. And certain species who don't really hunt are going to become meat eaters. Because if you affect the vegetation, then the herbivores can't eat. What do? They either starve to death or they start eating smaller animals. Okay, well, that smaller animal is somebody else's food. Or that smaller animal shits, and when that smaller animal shits, that is the fertilizer for this area or the food for this species. That's the way it works. All things are one. Everything is connected. That's how brilliant the creator was to make everything feed off of each other. Yeah. Hold on one second. All right, y'all, my fault. So what I'm saying is, when you affect one thing, you affect everything. They're well aware of this. So then what are they really doing? Now, think about the flip side. We know they injecting the meat with hormones to stretch the meat. Why are they doing that? Because they don't have as much meat as they used to. And I'm glad you said that. Actually, you helped me out because I was gonna deal with that Bible tonight too. So let me grab my drink. Revelations, y'all remember that? Let me grab some of the drink. Okay. So now, crazy what they doing right in our face, and we don't. And not only that, they tell us what they're doing. And now I tell y'all, this is a galactic game. There is a such thing as karma. And people say, well, there ain't no such thing as karma. If it was karma, how come the bad people get away with stuff? Because we give them permission. So just like I just said, if they say, we're going to spray some stuff in the air and not tell y'all what it is and what it does, why didn't we stop that shit right there? Everybody's supposed to left their house and met outside like bullshit. Bullshit. No, you're not. And we're not going back to work or back in the house till somebody have a conference to tell us what the fuck that is and why we need it. But we enjoy our things. So we hear what they're doing and then we get on with our day. We heard that all the college athletes been getting sexually harassed for 30 years. They fired the one dude and investigated nobody else, maybe one other person, and we keep sending our kids to college to play football. We will send a child off with somebody like Puffy to go be a star because we thirsty for celebrity stardom. They don't have a fucking clue. Just like them people gave Justin Bieber. You heard it. Everybody seen that video where Puffy said, I got him for 48 hours. We at a disclosed location. We can't tell y'all where we at, but we about to have him. You gave this man your little child for 48 hours and nobody know where you at. And you could see him grooming the boy like, when you get 16, I'm going to give you this car. But anyway, so now let's do something real quick. I tell y'all all the time that the Bible is a composite book. These are many different stories by multiple authors. So when we look at the Bible, we look at it as one book, and we think that book, the only thing when we see the Bible, we think about three things: God, Jesus, and Moses, and Noah. We know those things. We don't really care about nothing else. And Adam and Eve, of course, that's it. We need to know Adam and Eve, God, Jesus, Noah, Moses. The end. Most folks don't know much more than that, but will argue all day. So, first and foremost, nobody that actually knew God had anything to do with that book. And you know why? Because look at what it has done. It has only been put together by people who enslaved other people. Everybody who ever had something to do with that book was a slave guy who was enslaving other guys. Now, we can go to the original, the Hebrews, but the Hebrews was some wicked ass Canaanites. They didn't have anything. So we got to keep that in mind. But now, my point is to saying all that is Revelations was written. We're gonna look it up. So watch this. I should have put it on what's it called, but I'm gonna read it to y'all. So y'all, I want y'all to see something. When was Revelations written? Okay. Almost all New Testament scholars now take the view that Revelations was written during the reign of Domitian, sometime around 95-96 CE. CE means common era. So that means AD basically. So in the year 95-96 CE, Revelations. Now, watch this. Now, y'all remember what we talked about Sunday. Now, watch this. Since John was believed to be among the youngest Jesus disciples, and the book of Revelation was written at the end of the first century. Wait a minute. What did it say? Damn it. Have to be quite. He would have, okay, since John was believed to be among the youngest Jesus disciples, and the book of Revelations was written at the end of the first century, he would have to be quite old when he wrote it. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Revelations. And if you're a Christian, you probably ain't about to like this. So now, John, we're talking about John is the young boy we was talking about Sunday. That's who wrote Revelations. The young boy that used to sit on Jesus' lap all the time. Jesus, the one that Jesus loved, the disciple whom he loved. That John the divine. That's who wrote Revelations. Now, because he was supposed to be the closest to Jesus, allegedly, these are the things that Jesus told him. And so this is what he wrote. This is 60 something years after Jesus died. There is no historical evidence that John is the actual writer. You see how this works? So now watch this. You got Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. These are the four gospels. Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. There is no historical proof for any of these four guys. Matter of fact, it is believed that these are just names and that there were actual a group of different writers that put together Revelations, and the Gospels was written by multiple people. So my point is this. You have a book called Revelations. I mean, you have a book called the Bible, and one of the chapters is Revelations. Now, this comes out when? During Roman rulership. When Rome is ruling everything is when this story comes out. Now, y'all know how we've been doing this. We've been tearing this Bible up, dealing with Rome. This is when Rome is conquering the world. They have a story saying that if you don't get right with the Lord, here's what's going to happen. Now, you have to understand during Roman times, Jesus Christ was not the Lord. That's what this is it. Y'all think because what the Bible tell you that Jesus was walking around and everybody was like, "Oh, that's the Christ," and no. That wasn't what was happening. So the most worshipped figure in Rome during that time period was Julius Caesar and every ruler that came after him. But by by that time, I already told y'all the Roman Flavian dynasty had taken over. That's who was ruling. So that's who the Lord was. That's who people were praising, not a man named Jesus Christ. There was no Bible at this time. Not the Bible that y'all read. These are Jewish scriptures. Unless you're Jewish, it doesn't apply to you. This is stolen from Jewish people. Now, here's my point to all of this. Now, the Bible tells you about all of these horrible things that's going to happen during the end times. And a large part of what it details is the weather. It tells you there's going to be hurricanes, floods, pestilence. They say men are going to become women and women are going to become men. They say that pestilence is going to come in and people are going to go hungry. The food and the crops going to become scarce. Men going to turn on each other and start killing at an astronomical rate. Then the storms is going to come. Floods, hurricanes, and tornadoes. The Bible predicted all of this. Guess what I just listed for y'all? I just listed everything our government has already done. Did you catch that? That whole list of stuff that the Bible says that God is going to do during the end times, our government has already done every single thing on that list to the people. And now, if the food is going to go scarce, it's going to be, let's break this down. Men going to want to be women and women going to want to be men. Well, we literally watched our government push the LGBTQ agenda. We literally watched George Soros create the LGBTQ and create Black Lives Matter and co-opt the two. We literally watched Black Lives Matter vandalize all the American streets and get us on the brink of anarchy. We literally watched the footage of police vehicles pull up in the alley, drop off a load of bricks, and then pull off like they didn't do it. We literally seen what they're calling the worst virus in history, and we know for a fact now that our government did it. Now, today's topic is weather modification. Hurricanes, wildfires, tornadoes, and floods. We've watched our government do every single thing on that Revelations list. Now, I'm going to hit you with another doozy. Our Bible talks about a great flood. And the Bible says that God got so mad at the people on the planet that he decided to drown everybody. Like God couldn't just say, it's over. He had to drown everybody. And since we watch so much TV, we don't understand that it takes like 6 minutes to actually drown. Do you understand 6 minutes of me talking gonna go like this. 6 minutes of you drowning. So how about 6 minutes of everybody on the planet drowning all at once? Do you know what that sounds like? And let's keep in mind, some people can swim better than others. Some people are worse. So everybody ain't gonna make it 6 minutes, and some people are gonna make it 12 or 15. So you got an orchestra of and God's just listening to that, watching everybody drown. Is that logical? Or can we say, wait a minute, we can use some deductive reasoning and say, well, at one point, this planet had no moon. And then we can use a little bit of science and we can have a Google moment and say, wait a minute, according to Google, the moon controls the ocean tides. So now we can go to modern science and do their investigation on the moon, and they said that they dropped a bell on the moon and it rang for 6 hours. Why would something ring for 6 hours unless it's hollow? Oh, so they scientifically proven that the moon is hollow. So wait a minute. We have something that once wasn't here, it's hollow, and it controls the ocean tides. Well, that's where your great flood came from. When somebody, whoever, brought the moon here. So all of these things that the Bible and that Revelations is telling us, we can literally see our government doing these things. So now we have to say, wait a minute. How is it that the Bible predicted these things going to happen, but the Bible said it was going to be God doing it? Instead, we see our government doing it. The same government that gave us the Bible, coincidentally, is the same government manufacturing the things that the Bible said that God is going to do. So maybe that book's not talking about the same God you're talking about. Because we know for a fact it's our government doing it, not the God, it's the government. Now, what about the fires? They got a new weapon, and the Ukraine got it. The UK got it. Either Ukraine or the UK got it. It's called the Dragon Fire. And it spit so many miles an hour laser beam. Now, the first time they unveiled it was right after the Hawaii thing. Right after the thing in Hawaii, a couple of days later, they announced that they had this new solar weapon that emits so much heat, blah, 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 blah. Now, we can look at the end result of what happened in Hawaii. The poor people lost their land. The rich people got richer and got new land. So then we know what happened. Every time one of these natural disasters happen, look at Katrina. Katrina erased a huge percentage of the Black population, displaced them from their home. Most people there grew up there. New Orleans, most people been there their whole life. Landowners. So all those people got displaced from their land, sent all over the country. And what they do, they built a Mecca shopping center there where people used to live and had their property. So then we know Katrina wasn't a natural hurricane. there is, once again, this is war. So we have to look at it from both sides. Here we have a book about salvation and God. But these prophecies and predictions are being carried out by our government. When do we have a 2+2 moment and say, wait a minute, our government's got to be the one doing this? And then when we think a little bit bigger and say, wait a minute, it can't just be our government. All of these governments got to be in on this shit together. Because they'll get up here on these platforms and they argue about all the stupid shit. Hey, y'all, what happened as a result of Putin showing y'all that Jesus was black now? Did anything change for black people? Because I remember a month ago, y'all was so excited. Y'all was like so fired up about Putin telling us that Jesus was black, as if he could have been any other fucking color. But these are called token victories. They give us shit that don't mean shit so we can shut that shit up. The Simpsons movie had a lot of meaning to what's going on right now. And what we do is we decode movies. You can see they put some shit in all of these movies. Y'all go see go see the new Mad Max. It's a pedophile movie. It's a huge pedo shit in there. It's just crazy, the level of pedo shit in there. The whole story is rooted around pedo shit. It's crazy. They're getting bolder because the time is getting shorter. And like I said, the way they escape karma for their behavior is they tell you what they're doing. So when you watch a movie that says based on a true story, they finna lie their ass off. When you watch a movie that says this is a comedy, a cartoon, or fiction, they're about to tell you a lot of truth. The movies is the real Bible. Study the movies as much as you study the Bible. And if you're going to study the Bible, don't study it the way they do in Sunday school. Study it for real. What do these words mean? Because y'all see, for everybody that was in Clubhouse with us Sunday, I'm telling y'all, man, y'all be missing some fire shit. When we leave here, we go to Clubhouse. It be fire. Okay, let me see what you say, God. How could they prophesy the future not having the technology? How could they? Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. That's an assumption. That's an assumption that they didn't have the technology. So what we have to do in order to properly answer that question, King, who is they? Let's start there. Let's do a little quick back and forth. Who is they? When you said, how could they? Who do you mean by they? Because I think the biggest problem with us is, and that's a dope ass question. I'm not by no means saying nothing slick. That's a dope ass question. I like to get us to think a little bit. So I think a huge problem with us is, with all of this, is our assessment of it. So something as simple as they, 3 people will give you 3 different days. So if we don't know who they are, it causes a huge problem. So let's deal with the they real quick. They, we could start by assuming that we're talking about the government. Okay, and then you said, how could they prophesize something that they didn't have technology about? So how could they prophesize that they was going to be able to have all these hurricanes and shit, not having that type of technology? That's a huge assumption that they didn't have the technology. So now, back to the they. In my opinion, they are not humans. The name of this show is Misinformation Nation. We go there. We are not politically correct here. We go all over the place. So I'm gonna say, you can give me your thoughts on it. Anybody welcome to chime in. But when I say they, I'm not thinking about humans. When I look at, put it to you this way, we just had the UFO hearings, and we've had whistleblowers for damn near the last 100 years been telling us about UFOs, but they're just now declassifying the UFO information from the 50s. So now we also found out in that declassification that not only have they found the UFOs, they've reverse engineered them and flown them. This came out in the declassified. So that means for the last 80 years, according to what they told us, they have known how to reverse engineer alien technology, which means they've been bullshitting us for a minute, because these bullshit ass cars we got, and now all of a sudden we finally got to the flying car. Now, didn't the Jetsons tell us in the early 1900s there would be flying cars? Now, that same car from the Jetsons, you can buy if you got $1 billion. So, in ancient times, they had the pyramids were lit. These ancient cities had electricity. See, there's a lot they're not telling us. And this is why we do this. And this is why you have to mix, when you say they, no human people will think you crazy, but they have admitted to speaking to aliens. That's odd, but people will overlook it. Absolutely. So now, what is this relationship that they have with these quote unquote aliens? What is that? And who are these aliens? See, everybody keeps saying, when they get to talk about aliens, they keep telling y'all about the grays. If you really think 4-foot dudes with big ass heads took over the planet, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, I don't mean any harm, but I do. The grays are the peasants of the alien world. That's why they keep showing y'all. Little E.T. look like a gray. The little harmless motherfucker that just wanted to ride on a bike and say he want to go home. These are not the real threat. However, that's neither here or there. What we have to understand is our government has admitted to some type of interaction with it more advanced, more technologically advanced species. They have admitted to having business deals and meetings. This is all in their debrief. They coming out admitting that they done had meetings with certain species, and they got the famous incident. I don't know if y'all know about the famous incident with Eisenhower, where he disappeared for a couple of days. Allegedly, he was supposed to be getting some dinner work, but they said that's when he was having a meeting with the extraterrestrials. So it's documented that this government has encountered other species. Now, y'all know me. I rock with Bill Cooper and Behold a Pale Horse. Y'all can get that. A lot of people ain't going to read it, but if you don't want to read it, then you can watch the 6-hour lecture like I did 15 times. And I will watch it again today. Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. High-level naval officer who became a whistleblower. They ultimately end up killing him, but he told a lot of shit before they did. So we have documentation of more technological beings interacting with us. Now, here's what I'm suggesting when we deal with the day. I hope I didn't lose the black dot. But all I'm trying to say is I don't think technology works like that. I think they don't show you anything in a movie that they don't already have. So it is my belief that I'm 100% positive, to be honest with you. When they showed us flying cars on the Jetsons, they could already make flying cars. You have to look at what it says statistically. And a lot of people don't know this, but you can Google this. So you look at how long all the different the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, all these different eras, where we were making tools with rocks and stones, and then we slowly carved out a wheel, and then all of that shit took millions of years. But after thousands, millions of years of just carving in stone and rock, slowly figuring out what ink is and writing on paper, thousands of years of this bullshit. And then in 100 years, we go from riding a horse to a flying car. No civilization in history has ever done that. In 100 years, we went from riding horses to flying cars. That's not a thing. Because all you got to do is look at logic. For thousands of years, everything was in stone. And then we had a technology boom for 100 years that changed the face of history. We went from, in 100 years, we went from horseback riding and everything straight brick stone. And in 100 years, we went to horseback riding, driving cars, flying planes, jets, then took jets to being able to fight battles in the air. Y'all understand what it's like fighting a battle suspended in air? We just take shit for granted, like, oh, that's a fighter jet. That's 60 years ago, people was on horseback. 60 years later, you can fly through the air and shoot at people. We only saw that on space movies, sir, ma'am. So the technological boom that we had in 100 years is historically impossible. And every scientist, everybody agrees on that part of it. So something happened with that 120 year span. Something remarkable happened. What? Now, we could speculate, but this is why I say we must do a thorough breakdown of all the information available to us, because it's all telling. I used to think it was telling multiple stories. Now I understand there's only one story being told, what happened on this planet. Every movie, every book, you show me any movie, anyone, you could randomly pick it, and I'll show you the Bible in there. Show me any religious book, and I'll show you the latest movie in that religious book. It's all the same story. Now, when we look at religion, religion is inherited. So your religious framework is usually where you grew up at. So whatever your parents believe, usually that's what you believe, until you get old enough to make your own decision. But you're usually born into a faith. Now, most people born into that faith because religion has always been impeded on slaves. We don't understand the dynamics of that. Religion is for slaves. Every religion is dominated by slave masters. You can't name me one religion where the person who started the religion didn't have slaves. Muhammad was racist as fuck and had slaves. And that's why y'all be killing me when y'all talk about how Islam is the religion for the black man. Muhammad was an Arab who hated black people and he had slaves. And we have to even prove he exists because there's no guarantee about that either. All of these religions were heavy into slavery, pedophilia, and homosexuality. This is the prerequisite for mysticism, and our religion comes from mysticism. So we get involved with things because they traditionally passed down, but we don't understand where they came from. And when you get to the general source of where these things come from, it's not what you think. So now, if you ask me, the bottom line to who they are the ones who actually gave us their religion or a religion. It's not their religion. They gave us a religion. And it's all through the scriptures telling you that. Let us make man. Who is us? In our own image. Who is us and who is our? Now you go right in the Bible, you read that, and then if you're a Christian and I ask you how many gods is there, there's only one God, and his son is the Lord Jesus Christ. And you just get to praying to me. But wait a minute. If it's only one God, now I'm not saying I disagree. I do agree that there's only one God. But you saying that because you think that's what the Bible says, but the Bible don't say that. So that's where we differ at. I think there's only one God because I don't believe the Bible. But I don't see how you could believe in the Bible and tell me there's only one God. Because who are we talking about when it says let us make man in our image? Who are we talking about? As far as we know, the only people that have entered the story so far is God, the serpent, Adam, and Eve. And so who's making man and who is our image? It's a lot of unanswered questions that we just don't deal with in the Bible. The first four people, according to us, is Adam and Eve, God, and the serpent. And then you had Cain and Abel. And when Cain gets banished from the garden, it's either Cain or Adam gets banished from the garden. Cain. He said, I can't go out there, they'll kill me. They who? Who the fuck is they? Wait. This shit getting confusing. God, the serpent, Adam, Eve, Cain, Abel. That's 6 people. I killed my brother, so it's 5 of us. Now, I'm finna get kicked out. So I'm the only one leaving. Who outside gonna kill him? Who is that? Simple questions that we don't ask. So this is why I say we have to study the real way, because if we study the real way, we'll find out who they is, because they are written about in every ancient text except for the Bible. And the Bible talks about them too, because the Bible calls them the Elohim and the sons of God and the sons of man. See, we don't pay attention to what Jesus keep calling himself the Son of Man. Why does Jesus keep saying that? It's a lot of questions. That pastor got that fancy suit and he get the hollering and shit and spraying his and you just forget that what he just said made no sense. So when we get to the real deal, now it's okay if your people are Israelites. We just have to understand that the Israelites are just Canaanites. That one particular now according to the Bible, you have this supreme God named El, and El has sons. This is what the Bible says. One of his sons is Baal, Baal, and one of his sons is Yahweh. El divides up the land and gives it to his sons. So El gave, now they're dividing up the land called Canaan. So El gave a piece of it to Baal, a piece of it to Canaan, and a piece of it to his other son or daughter. Can't remember. So Yahweh, according to the Bible, is not the God. He's the son of a God that was given a group of people. And so what does El tell his group of people? Put no other God before me. What does he say all the time? I am the God of Jacob, Isaac, and Israel. He don't say the God of everybody. So realistically, if you're an Israelite, you probably still shouldn't read the Bible, but it came from your religion. Most of my buddies that are really into the Israelite shit, they read the Torah. Now, in my opinion, you have to prove Moses existed. Whole nother story. But my point is this. Once we start, it's just like anything else. If you and I sit down and play Monopoly, and I never played before, and you mysteriously lost the rules. And so the only way I can learn how to play Monopoly, because I never played it before, is if you tell me how to play. Okay, let's just say I land on your property, or you land on my property, and it's going to cost you everything, and I'm going to win the game. If I don't know this part of the game yet, are you going to tell me? You fuck around and tell me, yeah, see, the way it go is normally if I land on your property, I got to pay. But since this is the third time, every third time you pay me. And I'm going to be like, damn, that's a crazy rule. Here, take my money. So my point is, if you don't understand what is being structured for you, then the person structuring it can dictate how things go. So if you don't understand that all religion is born from war and dictators, then somebody can convince you that these are holy books. The reality is there's no such thing as a holy book. Every single religious book in existence has been used for mass murder and rape, sodomy, and pedophilia. That's what this stuff is all about. Grooming children. Why? Because children just came from God. It's the purest energy on the planet. So this is why they target the children. It's not all sexual. They use sex because sex is a way to manipulate energy. But this is literally war tactics. So your children are being targeted through religion. The adults are being targeted through the sky. Remember, whatever it is they're spraying in the sky to make fake clouds and shitting out of the back of airplanes, first it affects the sky, which affects the crops, which affects the people. And as a double whammy to the melanated man and woman, them blocking out the sun affects your intelligence. The people who taught everybody everything you know. You ever see now how it seems like we're not smart enough to teach anybody shit, but we once used to rule shit? That could have something to do with geographical relocation and tampering with the atmosphere. So now, these are all things that we have to consider, because now you look at it like this right here. Whose idea was this? Now let's get back to the they. Whose idea was this? And we have to work it backwards. We have to say, okay, it seems absurd that they would have the technology way back then. But I could show you paintings from Leonardo da Vinci that had flying saucers in the background. Leonardo da Vinci put flying saucers in the backgrounds of some of his paintings. How did Leonardo da Vinci know about flying saucers? See, this is where we have to say, wait a minute. There's a lot of shit they don't tell us. Like, for instance, and people who've been in my clubhouse room have heard this before. There are, and y'all could Google this, Alexander the Great is rumored to have won his most important battle. He had a battle on this narrow ass bridge that was the deciding factor that made him the man, this particular battle. And if you do research, some of his soldiers say that a disc-like beam came out the air and obliterated the wall and the bridge, and that's how they did what they did. Now, this ain't like now, where you got a gossip tabloid and you could go read The Onion, which I think tells the truth anyway. But what I'm saying is, ink, paper, stone, all that shit was expensive. So people ain't writing down stories that really didn't fucking happen in them days in some way, shape, or form. So you have people, soldiers reporting. And now, to add validity to that, it is rumored that Alexander was a god. Not like today, gossip. This was the talk of the time. Everybody heard it, everybody knew it, and most of the world believed it. So my only point is, once we start identifying certain things, it don't look as radical, because I can almost prove, and we've already done this with the Sumerian kings list. I've already showed us how the same rulers from Samaria are still ruling the planet. I showed you how Hitler's motherfucking bloodline, Hitler is a Rothschild. The Rothschilds trace their bloodline all the way back to Samaria. And the king, queen of England traced their bloodline back to Vlad the Impaler. And I did a whole breakdown on how Vlad is basically related to Noah from Noah's Ark. When you look at this, they call it the bloodline conspiracy. Every United States president, except for 2, are cousins. This is a fact. We've already dealt with it 1,000 times. 11-year-old little white girl proved it for her social studies report. It made the evening news. Little white girl was doing, and she was trying to prove something about Obama. And while she was trying to prove something about Obama, she found a connection to one of the kings in England that showed every single United States president except for 2 are cousins. Do you understand what that means? That means Bush, Obama, Nixon, all of these guys are cousins. Tom Hanks is a Rothschild. Are you starting to notice the pattern here? This is all family. Go look into a lot of your famous rappers and athletes, and you know what you'll find out? They have famous parents. This is a bloodline conspiracy. It's a family affair. And now, last thing before I go, watch this. Every empire in the history of the planet passed on the throne to their heirs and their relatives and their bloodline. But according to what they tell us, United States of America is the biggest, most powerful regime in the history of the planet. And they did it by electing a stranger every 4 to 8 years. The fuck out of here. They put their cousins on the throne just like every other empire on the planet. It's always been that way. The same guys that created the Jesus myth, the Flavians, 300 years later, their cousin Constantine made Jesus the #1 deity on the planet and made Christianity the #1 religion. So his cousins started small time. 300 years later, he made it the big dance. You ever ask yourself why Rome, the people who spent the last 300 years persecuting Christians, why they just woke up and said everybody's going to be a Christian? It's a family affair. So anyway, I love nights like this when we cook so much that I don't even realize the time. Cousins is wild, like, yeah, my cousin up next, but they gonna still vote. Exactly, and they all cousins. That's the crazy part about it. They are all cousins. So when you see these guys at the podium, when you see Obama at the podium cussing out somebody else, that's his cousin. Obama's a cousin. His last name is not even Obama. It's Satoro. His name is Barry Satoro. And I could show you that, and I was going to show y'all tonight. I got so sidetracked. I had like 5 clips. I ain't played not one of them. We got the cooking so heavy. But I could show y'all. I had clips of how many different presidents gave a New World Order speech, which is what the back of the $1 bill say. Nodus Ordo Seclorum. New Order of the Secular, New World Order. And every United States president has said something about the New World Order in their speech. Every last one of them. So now, y'all know how we rock. We on the way to Clubhouse. All I'm finna do is make a smoothie. So y'all just give me like 10, 15 minutes. I'm gonna open up the doors at like 8:15, 8:20. Everybody in here, man. We like Clubhouse simply because in Clubhouse, I ain't got to be the only one talking. Y'all can rock. We can have a fair exchange and have a conversation. So there's the room. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Let me get that up out of there. Put that back. Hold on 1 second, y'all. We rocking. We rocking. Here we go. Wow. Conscious Conspiracy Cave in Clubhouse. Man, before y'all go, y'all sat here all this time and still didn't hit the damn like. Can y'all hit the like before y'all leave? Conscious Conspiracy Cave, where we talk about everything you could imagine, and ain't no shame in nothing. Just if you heavily religious understand, you better know what you're talking about. As long as you do, we're friendly. Y'all know what it is, though. So meet us at Clubhouse in like 15 minutes. Knowledge is the only real power. Information is the only real currency. But the application of both is the route to divinity. I love y'all. I'm gone.